Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know about you, but today is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. That's just my testimony for the things that He has done for me. I thank each of you for coming out on behalf of our breast cancer awareness program. But I just wanted to say to each of you that God is faithful. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horrors of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And I bless Him for giving us strength today. I am grateful just to be alive. So when you see me and you know that I'm always smiling, it was nothing but His goodness and mercy that allowed me to make it. Some of you understand because we're going to ask the survivors to come up. As the survivors are coming up, Mr. Grant, as well, we're asking the survivors to come up. Today we thought it not robbery to pause and simply say, salute those that are fighting, salute those that are going through the battle, and honor those that we have lost to the fight. If we take an opportunity as women and men to take part and take charge of our health, we will understand that there's a cure that we're fighting for and we desire to conquer it. So without further ado, as the survivors stand with us, we're going to ask our president, and we salute him, Dr. Art Dunning. We thank you for thinking it not robbery to pause this day and to honor and take support in it as well as he comes. Thank you.
Ms. Charles, thank you very much for your thoughtful, very thoughtful words concerning something that's very serious to us as a people, and especially serious in Southwest Georgia. Cancer, stroke, and diabetes are three really issues that impact us deeply, and so many of those things can be addressed through prevention. And so I applaud you for what you're doing, because you're looking at ways to not only help women and men in our community, but to celebrate those who are survivors, and to do it in a way that it has a very elegant and nice sound. I like the way you described what we're doing here today. I've had two members of my family to have breast cancer, so I've had a kind of an up close and personal sort of relationship with that, and it is something that you need an entire support system when this happens. And the thing that I saw that worked so well, that people who love these two people, they embraced them, they supported them, and they respected them, and they made sure that everything that could be done for them, it was done. So this whole idea of celebrating a sense of community, that's what this is about today. You have an Albany State community, and this is a celebration for you as human beings to make sure that you know where we are with this. But this disease is common. It comes behind lung cancer. That's very debilitating across this country. So we are not unique here in Albany, Georgia. This is something that the nation faces, and we have a lot of research going on at major places around the country, learning to address it, also learning how to treat it in some very deep ways. So this is not just a woman's issue, it's a community issue. This is something we all support and work on. So do not feel that this is an issue that is affecting you and you alone. One of the things that I want to do is to make sure those things that happen to Albany State employees, such as breast cancer, that we as a community and we as a family do everything we can to let you know that we are feeling this as you are feeling it in ways that may not be the same, but organizationally and from a family standpoint, we're with you with it as well. So the last thing I'd say that I want you to know, we honor you, we wish you good health, and we wish you continued good health. And if there are ways that we can continue to support you, please let us know that. Thank you very much.
I'd like to just take this opportunity and pause to recognize the breast cancer survivors. And the first person would be Mrs. Carolyn Brown. And I know that she is out right now, but we wanted to pause and salute her as well. Mrs. Catherine Laster, Mrs. Linda Cochran, Mrs. Barbara Daniels, Mrs. Gwen Hosley, Mrs. Thetis Bryant, Mrs. Karen Carter, and Mrs. Bonisha Porter, and last but not least, myself. And Janice Barnes, we salute you. And not only are these ladies survivors, but I've said through my struggle that we're overcomers, because yes, we've survived the disease itself, but there's a lot that we yet have to overcome, and that is making sure that we educate our community, our men and women, on how we need to take care of ourselves and how we need to make sure that we go to the doctor and be checked and things of that nature. And sometimes a fluke may happen. I thought I was the most recent case, but Karen is now, we're going through it together. But we bless God and we're yet coming out. At the end of the day, I am an overcomer. At the end of the day, we have all yet survived. And so we salute you today. We're gonna ask that we have some remarks from Mrs. Thetis Bryant and then Catherine Laster.
Good morning. Good morning. Again, may I repeat, my name is Thetis Bryant, and this is my story. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2010, my first instinct was to jot my feelings on paper. And as a result, I came up with this poem, I Got What? What is this stranger growing inside of me? It feels like a lump. It's probably not. I hope it's not that dreaded big C. Perhaps I'll go to sleep and maybe it'll go away. I examined that breast again and again, and it was still there the next day. So now I had a little anxiety because I discovered it over the weekend. Waiting 2 more days before seeing a doctor was so scary and made me cringe. With such curiosity inside of me to sit still, no, I wouldn't dare. So I visited my neighbor. She touched it and said, yes, I think something's there. You see, my neighbor, Diane, is a breast cancer survivor, so she knew what a lump felt like. She became my support, my confidant, and gave me really good advice. It doesn't hurt to seek counsel from family and friends, but it's best to do your own research. Be as thorough as you can, develop your own plan, but remember to seek God first. I got past the weekend, called the doctor on Monday, made an appointment to see what was up. After having several tests, I received the report, and my response was, I got what? My doctor stood quietly and looked at me, but I refused to become hysterical. I began to take notes and ask, what are my options? Because I am looking for a miracle. I prayed that God would guide me and grant me the serenity to accept my diagnosis with peace and gratitude. If you ask, you will receive. If you trust and believe, surviving breast cancer begins with having a positive attitude. Thank you so much.
Good morning. In July 2009, less than 2 years after relocating to Albany, Georgia from the Bahamas, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. When the radiologist delivered that news to me, I was speechless, in shock, disbelief, and literally numb. My life suddenly flashed before my eyes, and I immediately thought of my 2 sons and how much longer I had to live. You see, cancer, You hear cancer and you think death and an uncertain future. These thoughts consumed my mind as the tears silently rolled down my face. You see, I thought of not being able to see my boys finish high school, matriculate, and graduate from college. I thought of not being present at their weddings and being the mother of the groom or playing with their children, my grandchildren. Yes, my life literally flashed before me, and it was too much to bear. However, devastated and frightened by the terrifying news, I braced as best I could for the oncoming months of intense chemotherapy and radiation treatments. I grew both emotionally and spiritually stronger as I found strength in His Word. Yes, despite the smile you saw daily, there were times I cried and wondered if I could go on. But I would quickly remember the scripture, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Sometimes the night seemed long and with no end. But I had faith in God that morning will come, and with it, unspeakable joy. Those 12 months, to say the least, were lonely, challenging, an emotional roller coaster, and a true test of my faith. During those months, I found joy, happiness, deliverance, and healing in reading my Bible and journalizing my daily activities and feelings and sharing experiences with fellow breast cancer patients. It was during this valley experience, when I was at my lowest, a dark and desolate place in my life, when my night seemed the darkest, that I felt the burning desire to write and share my testimony to encourage, uplift, motivate someone else who would have heard or one day will hear, "You've got breast cancer." With God's grace and strength, that yearning led to the completion of my first inspirational book, He Chose Me, A Woman's Journey of Faith, Hope, and Breast Cancer. I've learned much during this experience, and through my storm, I've learned about true friendship, family, faith, and fortitude. It is nothing but God's grace and mercy that I am standing before you this morning. I'm not wise enough, nor am I smart enough, nor am I strong enough to have made it without Him.
We thank Catherine and Thetis for their words of inspiration, and I can attest that He Chose Me was what was given to me as I went through being diagnosed last summer, June 28th. And maybe unlike some other testimonies, I did get checked. I did have my routine mammograms. I even had a breast MRI. So when I was told that I had breast cancer, not one type, but two, in my left breast and would have to have a double mastectomy, I thought I was having an out-of-body experience. I told my doctor to just hold on. Let me take it in to really understand what you're saying. I didn't ask why me. I could not ask why me. I had to ask why not me. At first I said, but I've been so proactive. I've gone to my mammograms. I've gone to the doctor. I've kept myself checked. That's why I had a lumpectomy. But then when it came back and said it was more than that, I said, I have to tell you, I said, to God be the glory. It's not easy, as Catherine said, to receive those diagnoses because you instantly think of cancer. And if you have family, you're thinking about them. But I had to know that, why not me? And I don't want to stand here and preach to you all, but I got to tell you what's in me. At the end of the day, what I had to realize through my tears and getting the report is, why not me? Jesus paid a debt that he didn't even know. He died on the cross for me. So who am I not to go through? And so I have to go through and endure it as a good soldier. I have to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. But I've got to hold on and know that through my midnight hour, when I feel like I don't want to go to sleep because I'm afraid to wake up, that I'm not going to wake up the next morning. Yes, I've had to call Catherine in the middle of the night. Yes, I've had to call Carolyn, Thetis, because they've walked me through this. Yes, they met me at the hospital for my treatment. Yes, and I'm grateful to that. But I salute and I submit to each of you. Take charge of your health. Take advantage of the opportunity. Know that this is all that we have. You only get one life, one body, and for that is to do the very best you can. That's not just in your health. That's work, church, school, and home, and play. Know that the best is yet to come. But Albany State University, know that we love you, we appreciate you, and we are standing firm because we made it through and we know that we're overcomers. And so we say thank you for coming out to take part in this for us. Amen. We appreciate and thank each of you through all that you're going through. We're going to get ready to pause for a moment of silence for those who we have lost. We're going to release the balloons in memory of them. If there are no more words, we'll get ready to form our ribbon.